Hey everybody, it's time for another Tony's Tidbits. And I recently was diagnosed with sleep apnea. Now, it wasn't severe. I was having 28.5 apneas per hour. So it was not bad, but I did get prescribed um, what they call a APAP machine, which is adjustable, instead of the C being continuous. So um, I've been using it. I've been sleeping better. I feel more energized in the morning, and there's a whole routine on having to clean the actual machine, the hoses, and all the things. So this is that video to help you clean your APAP machine. Now, the one that I have is the Philips ResMed Model 11. So if you have this model or something similar, this video would apply for you. There's other models and there's other machines that probably are very similar, so this would also work for you as well. Let me show you what the ingredients list are. Okay, so first of all, you'll need a bin to hold all of your ingredients. These are just the materials that I use, but this actual bin, which is a shoebox bin, of course, from my favorite store, Costco, sells these. And basically, I have this on the side, so I kind of put this here because I'm going to be putting some parts on here. A Ryobi fan. So this is to push air through the hose so it dries faster. I'll show you how that works. And then I've 3D printed, and I'll put a link to the model for this. This is an actual a clip or a over the shower door hanger to hold the hoses here, and then also a little hook here to put your headgear. So I use this for to help dry the things. Okay, and then what I have is the this bin, and so what I'll do is I'll squirt 10 pumps, 5 to 10 pumps of mild dishwashing detergent in here. So it'll allow me to like really get a good soak for all of the parts, and it kind of self-contained into the bin. So I'm gonna go and put 10 pumps of some mild dishwashing soap, and then we'll go to the next step. So here's the bin. And I have, you probably can't see it, but I do have the dishwashing soap that's down there. And basically what I'm gonna do is put it here. I'm gonna run the hot water just a little bit, just to get some, you know, you don't wanna soak it in total cold water. You wanna kinda make it medium sort of temperature, like cool, like at least to the touch, right? So get a little heat there going, and I'm using this in my garden tub, which I think is fine, but you know, wherever you can get a water source will be good. I like to use the tub because it's all here. If it spills over, it's not a problem. So it's getting hot, put it there, and again it kind of gives you the bubbles, and then I'll turn on the cool water a little bit to really get that emulsification of the soap that's in there, right? So get that going, and I fill it pretty much all the way to the top. That way, when I put in the hose, when I put in all the things, I got a good amount, and I'll kind of like emulsify it, let the dishwashing liquid work. There we go. There we go. All right, so I think we got enough here. So let's go get our components. So here's my setup here. I have it right next to my bed. I did put a little hook here to hold my headgear so that when I wake up, I can just place it on that hook. It's just held by a command strip, really. And so first what you want to do is you want to disconnect the headgear from the hose. So I usually like to push where it has the slim life here, squeeze it, and it kind of comes out. Now sometimes if you're not too careful, this thing will come off inside the hose, but just as long as it clicks back, you're fine, right? So here's that. Now the hose itself is hooked into this part of the machine. So just like the other one, I would push it right here on the end, and then just squeeze, and then kind of let it work its way out of the machine. So squeeze and kind of wiggle it. There you go. So the hose is now out, right? My headgear fell down, that's okay. And so there's that. Now there is the water reservoir. So if you have one that has the water reservoir to control the humidity, all you have to do is kind of squeeze the top and take that out. So that's pretty easy. So that's the next component. And then there is this back component here that is actually where the hose connection is. Now if you look, there's a little clip inside here, right on the end. Okay, trying to get there, right here, right on the end. If you push that, it'll clip forward. It will like kind of undo it, and then all you have to do is take this part out. Okay, so that part is out now. Okay, and that's it. That's it. You can leave this unit here. It's still plugged in, as you can see. And now I have all the things on the bed: headgear, the clip thing, the water reservoir, and the hose. And so I'm going to go and soak this into the actual container. Alright, so all of my things here are in the bathroom, and I'm going to just basically take this guy and throw it in there. No problem. Now I have the headgear. So you want to disassemble the headgear by just pulling on this strap right there. I have the pillows. So, and then right here. So of course, when we assemble it, the two arrows go together. So there is the nose pillows. Just gonna throw it in there. And then the headgear. So headgear is pretty easy. I'll just throw it in there, push it down a little bit. All right, so now we have this contraption, which is the water reservoir for the humidity control. There's still some water in here, so that's okay. It's distilled water, so I'm just gonna put it in here, right? Just let it soak in there. Make sure it gets in there kind of well. Now the hose, a little bit more tricky. It's a long hose. So what I'm gonna do is I need to reposition this camera so you kind of can see what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's see. I'll just hold it. All right, so with this hose, you got the two ends. Find the other end here. And basically what you want to do is you want to take the hose and get some water in it. And basically I do this until I feel like I got the whole hose with water in it. So put it down there, move it up, got some water in there, all the way. So now I feel like I got all of the water in there. Okay, so now I got the hose, and I do one of these moves. Hold on, sorry for the janky movement here. All right, so I do one of these moves where I move it back and forth. You see, the foam is coming out on one side, foam is coming out on the other side, and that should be good. That should be good. So I'm gonna do it one more time, and then now that it's full of water, I can put it in the bin and it stays down. So that's pretty key. And I take this guy, the water reservoir, since it's a little bit bulky, and I'll put it on top just to keep that hose down. Because if it has air, it's gonna float to the top. You can see the actual hose itself is not floating. So that is a really good key so that it lets soak. Now, I'm going to let this soak from, usually I do it for 15 minutes, or if I'm doing other things, I'll just leave it here until I'm ready to rinse it. I'm going to leave it here for about 15 minutes and I'll come back and we'll just rinse it off. While the components are actually soaking down there, I'm going to set up this hook. Okay, so again, I 3D printed this with my 3D printer. I'll put a link to the actual model itself. If you don't have a 3D printer, I'm more than willing to help you out, and you can buy it off of my store. So I'll put a link on where you can get this, and I can print it out and send it to you. So not a problem there. I find this to be very useful. So here is where I put it. So I'm going to take it, and you can put it on the outside, but I like to actually put it on the inside. That way the water goes inside of the shower itself, and it fits exactly right here, if you can see it. So we'll get an inside view of what that looks like shortly. Now, this guy is my fan, and it's designed to help the drying process for the hose, because that's the most difficult thing to dry. So what I'm going to do here is this is a clip fan, 18 volt with the 1 plus system. And I'm standing up here, you can see the inside of where the clip is. And it has this clip right here. See, I'm moving it, this clip. And luckily, it's sort of the same width as this particular clip for the CPAP stuff. So what I'll do is I will clip it right on to the actual holder itself. You can see is perfectly sets right on here. All right, have a battery there. So when we get, and this swivels, so that's cool. So when we get to this point where we're drying it, I'll turn it on. I'll just show you an example. So there's the switch here, and you can, there you go, see? So now when we're drying it, the fan will not only dry whatever's on the hook here, this is the headgear rest, but it'll also go into the hose. Now, there's a trick, so stay tuned. There's a trick on how to get that really dry very fast, but I'll show you that. So I'll turn this off for now, and when we start to rinse the products, I'll show you what this setup looks like. It's been about 15 minutes or so, probably longer because I've had to go do a few things. So I'm keeping the lid here for a reason, because I'm going to put certain components here. So the first thing I'm going to take out, probably, here we go. No specific order. The headgear, we're going to just get this rinsed. What I like to do is sort of right in the top, and you can see that the water is coming out of the end, so it's getting a good rinse. So that's pretty easy. I'll let this drain a little bit and we'll put it on that hook, but for now, just gonna place it here. All right, next thing is I'm gonna fish around. Aha, okay, I got this reservoir, so we're gonna rinse this. Make sure you just get that water everywhere. Just as long as you don't see suds, you're probably pretty good. All right. Shake it here. This is where it has the reservoir in the lip, so kind of shake it there. I'll place it sort of like this for now. What's the next thing here? Grab this, the hose hook, if you will, or the hose contraption. I'm sure there's an official term for it. Make sure I get this rinsed. This will go here. Fish for the nose pillows here. For this one, I like to, because there's a lot of oil around here, I kind of like let it go a little bit, kind of like wipe it down, make sure there's nothing there. They say that you're supposed to replace these ever so often, so check to make sure that it's still springy and that there's no tears. This one looks good. And then just the same way. And then for this one, what I like to do is hold the side so that the water comes out of where the nose is, right? Where you would put it on the nose. So put it there, make sure it comes out, go around, maybe do a little bit more, make sure it's yeah, there we go. All right, so we'll also put this on the hook too in a little bit. Now the hose. So this one's a little different since it's so long. So I'll take it out. I kind of let it go. Remove all the water. There you go. I'll turn on this and I'll run some fresh water through and make sure that it goes through the hose. You see it's coming out of the hose itself. So I just wait for a little bit. Should be good. Just let it come down here. Should be good. What I'll do here is I'll take the whole thing and I'll make sure that there's no more suds. Kind of real hard to do this with one hand. No problem though. All right, so raising it up. I'm getting all of the water out, and what I'll do is I'll take the hose, and since it's sort of dripping, I'll go back into our thing and I'll place it in the back like that. So see, it's perfect right there, perfect fit, right? And then the hose is gonna just dangle down. If you have this luxury of having a shower like this, and then it's just basically just gonna hang down. Now I do this until I feel that I don't see any additional droplets, and then I'll fold it up basically. And now this water is done. We have everything. Get a little rinse, clean my tub here a little bit. I'll run the water and kind of clean this bin out a little bit. So, sorry for trying to do this with one hand. One second here. There we go. Okay, should be pretty clean by now. Alright, and I'll just turn off the water. I'll set this here to the side. There you go. I'm gonna take this headgear and I'll take the nose pillows and we're gonna go place it on that hook. So back into the shower, okay? And I'm going to place the headgear like this, kind of like it tilted on the side. I'm gonna face this up, and basically why I'm facing this up is so that the air can flow from the fan into that. And I'm just gonna put the nose pillows like this. So now you can see the whole setup. You got your hose here, you got your nose pillows here, and then you got your headgear, okay? And then I'm going to turn it on to the highest setting. This is a pretty, I think this is the 4 amp hour battery, so it's gonna last for, I know it only reduces by 1 bar by the end of the day, so it's gonna last for a long time. And basically what I'm feeling here is where is the airflow going? And I'm gonna put my finger here, and I notice that there's not a lot of airflow going there, so I'm just gonna angle this down a little bit to make sure that there's some airflow going into this. You can also move this forward a little bit if you want to put it on this hook, but I think it's okay like that. That's not a problem. Yeah, more air coming from here. You got air coming into this, so now you can feel it. I can feel it here. And then if you've done it right, you can also feel air coming from the bottom of the hose. So good deal. All right, so that's done. I'm gonna let that run. And then these, the water reservoir and the hose hook here, you can just leave that. That's why I leave the lid here so that these components can dry. Later when the fan is done, the hose is dry, I'll take the fan and I'll put it on these components so that they can dry. But for now, that's how I clean the components for my ResMed, Philips ResMed Model 11. I'll come back and I'll do the assembly in just a moment. Hey, it's me. So I am actually in the bathroom and I'm gonna check on the hose to see how we're doing in terms of just getting everything dry. So here, I'll switch the camera here. All right, so again, we got this going. These look pretty dry. So the head here, I think really dries very quickly. I think the only thing that takes a long time is this cloth-like material, so this does take some time. Still a little wet, not damp, so probably still pretty good. It's only been, I would say, about an hour, hour and a half to 2 hours, so 1 to 2 hours. This whole hose is dry now. When I look, I don't see any water or any water droplets. So the goal here was to ensure that all the water droplets by gravity and also through the fan is making it dry. So what I'll do is connect both ends to the end here and make sure that air is going through both. And then the reason why I take one end and drain it out is because I've done this before where I've put both ends on the hook, and what happens is water will pool right here at the lowest part. So I would recommend at least 30 minutes, let everything drain out of the other end, and then set it up like this so you can make sure that it's completely dry. And then the next thing is we will put the fan over by where the water reservoir is, and then we'll connect these things. Now, while I'm at it, I've put the water reservoir like this, so it's a good idea to kind of put it in a different position. So you can see water right here is pooling. So good to just kind of like put it in a different position so that we can get the whole unit dry. So I'll be back and we'll put the fan over here and then we'll hook up the other things. Hey, all right, so I had my other shirt on and I forgot to put on my logo shirt, so here I am. Everything is dry as for the components that are in the shower, so all I'm gonna do is transfer the fan over to where the water reservoir is. So let me switch the direction here. All right, so this is pretty easy. You're just gonna hold this and take this part off. All right, and I'm just gonna basically move it over here so that I can get some of these are really hard in the water reservoir because there's a lot of like kind of thick grain. So I usually like to get this fan going on this part. This is pretty much dry at this part. So there's that. And then I'm just gonna wait for this to finish drying and then we'll assemble everything together. All right, it's been some time and this has definitely been dried. So I'm gonna turn this fan off here. Set it to the side. This now looks very dry, so no issues there. I'm gonna put this over here on the side, and we're gonna load this with the distilled water. So I like to put it all the way to the max because it lasts me one whole week. So I'm just gonna pour it in all the way until the max line. Oh, there we go. I'll close this here. All right, so there's that. And then I'm going to pull the nose pillows, the headrest, both of these. Let's see here. Pull this guy off of it too. Hurry, we got everything. So I'll meet you back at where the device is and we'll hook it all back up. All right, so I have all of my things here. So I'm gonna move this to the side and we're going to insert this piece first. This has got to go in first so that we can put the water reservoir and also the hose. So right on the back here, you see the clip, and it's got to be facing towards the water reservoir. And so once it's there, you can see how it goes here. And once you push it in, you'll hear a click. There you go. That's all it needs, right? And then now we'll put the water reservoir back into place. There you go. And then now that's set. And put it to its orientation here. The headrest, and I'm going to show you here. So you're looking for the arrow. So let's marry up those. And then you hear a click. Same thing with this. We hear a click. So that's good. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to attach, and I'm, maybe it's just OCD. I like to attach where it has the ResMed right to the top, right here. And then it's pretty sealed in. Sorry, I'm actually holding the camera in my armpit. So I will just, my little latch there, hold it right there. And then lastly, I have the hose, which goes right here. And so I will attach it right there. And that's all it is to it. So now the hose leads all the way up to here. And that's my headgear. So that's it. We have successfully cleaned the whole system. Well, as you can see, cleaning the hose and all the accessories for the ResMed 11 model 11 could be any actually is actually pretty easily done, and it was just take some time just because of the drying period. It does take a long time in order for you to get everything dry so that it's ready to install back into the machine itself. So again, that particular 3D printed hook for the headgear and also for the hose, I will post a link to the description, and if you don't have a 3D printer, I'd be glad to help you out and print one, and I'll put a link in the description as well. Well, again, this is Tony with Tony's Tidbits. Until next time.